I just left Norseman after fueling up, spoke to the lovely Kay, and I'm now heading towards Coolgardie, or Coolgardie and Coolgardie. I'm going to go to Coolgardie and bypass Coolgardie, and strangely enough, I've never actually driven on this particular stretch of road before. This is between Norseman and Cambalda, and then Coolgardie and Coolgardie. So this will be a first for me as well. Widgymultha Roadhouse. There you go. There's a light aeroplane about to land. Well, this stretch of road isn't very interesting because it's paved, I guess. Not having been on it before. It's just like another highway in WA. Give me the gravel roads any time. Probably about 10 or 15 k's out of, it might even be less, out of Coolgardie. I keep getting these two mixed up. They're twin towns. Anyway, we'll be there soon. I'm going to once again top up the tanks. What's going on there? Top up the tanks and find a supermarket, get a couple of bits and pieces, and then we'll press on to Rowles Lagoon. So we will actually go into Coolgardie to the left towards Perth. Then there is a road that takes us straight up to Rowles Lagoon. Town centre. Here we go. I've been to this place before, but to get onto the road to Rowles Lagoon, they keep telling you on the maps to go up a street called Ford Street, and Ford Street actually ends at a dead end, and obviously they've never upgraded the map, so I've overridden my GPS twice driving around Coolgardie until I now am on what is called the Coolgardie North Road, and that goes here for about 55 k's now, and that will take me up virtually towards where I want to be. But it's such a confusing little place to get to, or round Coolgardie, basically because of that one street which is wrong on the maps because it ends at a fence and a hill of dirt. Here's a classic example, a modified road intersection. Now there's no signs. There's not a sign that tells you go this way. Coolgardie that way, but I'm on this road and I'm trusting my trusty Google Maps and my Garmin to take me, because both of them, I plugged coordinates into Garmin and I just said Rowles Lagoon on Google Maps, and both seem to be taking me in the right direction. Except for that modified intersection there, they weren't aware of that. As many of you viewers are probably aware, I use this time to ponder the ills of the world, and when I was shopping there in the IGA, I was looking for some more water, and you used to be able to buy water in 10-litre containers and 20-litre containers, big bulk ones, and none of the supermarkets, even in Albany, seem to be able to get them, and they say it's a supply problem. But there doesn't seem to be a problem in supplying all of the smaller varieties, like the 600ml, the 1.5 litre, the 1 litre, whatever. And it just seems crazy to me that we're trying to cut down on waste and the amount of plastics in use, and yet they can't source bulk containers, which would actually save the planet a lot more landfill, because of all those little things, that the little tiny bottles that they force us to use. Honeyvale Station. Okay, we're coming to a railway crossing here. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, that's just a little thought, because it just seems a bit crazy. Coolgardie North Road open to all vehicles, drive to conditions. Well, we always try to. Anyway, why, with all their purchasing power, can Woolworths, Coles and IGA and all the rest of these people not source bulk plastic containers? There's a wonder. Well, the bitumen turned to gravel, as we know, and this should be a straight run through, basically, with a dog leg when we get to Rowles Lagoon. We'll have a little look at it from the rear-facing camera. Must be a bit of mining up here, because road trains enter. I was going to show you the dust that I was kicking up behind me a couple of minutes ago, but it seems to have disappeared because I've come onto a different surface, let's say. But the beast was caked in dust at the back window. It's got all that red dust, and I actually forgot to pull my curtain down and seal it between the tailgate and the upper part of the cabin, or the tub. So I'd be interested to see how much dirt I'm accumulating in the back near the fridge today. Kicking up a bit of dust behind me now. I hope that's picking that up. This red dust, it gets into your veins. Literally. It's a long, straight stretch of road, this one. This little road is a little bit more corrugated than the Hayden Norseman road. You just feel that slight increase in the corrugations as distinct from the one that I left earlier today. So maybe they don't have the same amount of money up here to grade the road. There's statues out in the middle. I've got to stop and take a photo of this. This is crazy. This is a weird place. Hang on while I get my other camera out. I'll get the Canon out for this. We have a salt lake, and you'll notice that there's a whale over there. And there's a whale that's diving, and a shark, and a couple of Scotty terriers. I don't know what that one is. And over there you have something else. And then I turn over the road, we'll just go past the beast, and over here is a creature. God knows. Unbelievable. Only in Australia, in the outback, do you come across artwork. Unbelievable. How quaint. for the sake of context, I have now been travelling exactly 6 hours since I left the breakaways this morning on the Norseman Road, and now we're going to be, well, we're about 25 k's apparently from my destination. I'm approaching Rowles Lagoon from a different direction this time. Last time I went via Orabanda, and this, I think this particular road takes me straight through. There's an old ruin there, look at that. Oh, here we go, let's have a look at this one. Oh, site number 2, Kunalanning or something. Kunanaling. Okay, so we have a building here. I better investigate, find out what this is about. I'll get the other camera out and we'll have a look. This is the Premier Hotel, built by Jack Bow, a Coolgardie entrepreneur who had a wagon team. Ha ha! The Premier. Apparently it was part of the Premier mine or something. The mine, obviously to entertain their workers, invested in it. Look at that. Ha. The Premier. We have one in Albany that was burnt down by a previous owner. It has just only recently been refurbished and reopened. And it's how interesting was that, eh? An old pub out 1901. It was probably in its heyday, 1901, eh? Gold fever, gold rush. That's why I was mentioned earlier that the Holland track, which comes off the Norseman Road, the Holland track was started by a fellow from Albany called Holland, who was looking for a quicker way to get to the gold fields from Albany, because apparently a lot of the miners or would-be prospectors alighted in Albany off ships, and they were always looking or trying to find a quicker way to get up to Coolgardie and Kalgoorlie, and that was why the Holland track was originally blazed, if you like. But obviously it's in disrepair, but you can still drive it in a four-wheel drive. Excuse me. It's a pity the pub wasn't opened. I could do with a wetting of my whistle. I have a little that a little thing in my throat since I left Coolgardie, and I just sort of thought to myself, I should have bought some Fisherman's Friends or some sort of lozenges there. Never entered my mind, but I did buy bug spray. Well, I am actually on the right road, because I just passed a sign that said Rowles Lagoon and Orabanda this way. But the sign was actually facing another road which went to another place called Dunsville, which I have never heard of, and I certainly don't see it on the map. It's weird out here. Spooky. Here is a sign that says there's a road to the left, and I know that the road to the left goes to Rowles Lagoon. So, here we go, yes. Creeder Homestead, Rowles Lagoon, 10 k's to the lagoon. 10 to the lagoon. This is the place I came to with the camper trailer to give it a bit of a test, when I really discovered that the camper trailer life was not for moi, and that rooftop tents are my way of camping. There is a sign, and I'm upside down. Oh, we're back up the right way now. Okay, we got 6 kilometres in to the lagoon. apparently. I do remember this is very soft. Grader looks like it's been in here. Probably get down here and there's a gigantic party going on with hundreds of people, like there was last time. Not. Rowles Lagoon Conservation Park. Okay, we have arrived.
Navigate off road.
Campfire and fire safety. Oh. Look at the dust I'm kicking up. Oh dear. And there is nobody here again. Okay. Right, well, then I get to pick my spot. Now, I do recall, what's the notice on the toilet? I'm just going to go and have a little look. Have a look at this. I've got this to myself yet again. They are amazing. Let's have a look at here. I don't want to be too far away from the conveniences, let's say. You can't go down that way, and this round, look at that. I hate people that bring rubbish and bottles and things, and they can't clean up. They put them in the fire. It's disgusting. Watch out, my height. Can't get through there. Now, well, this is nice in here. There's a little fireplace. There's a tree. Oops, let me have a little reconnoitre, because I don't have the camper trailer, and last time I was over there somewhere. So if I just remember, what side do I go up into the tent here? This way, this side. Let's just walk in here. Let's have a look in here. Let's see what's going on. I'm going to have a reconnoitre, folks. Wait. I have picked a site here. It may just be on a bit of a slope, that's the only problem. I don't want to have a... I'll have a go, have a go, as Mike the Irishman would say. We line that up there like that, which is what the purpose of those marks was. And we'll just reverse back slowly, using the reverse camera, reverse and camera. I'm going to, am I on a slope? Do I have a level? I do. On my phone. Hang on, I'll turn you off. This is boring, isn't it? Now I'll take you through the process of how I choose my camp spot, right? The fire is there. The beast appears to be on a fairly level keel, and we look at it from all angles, right? I have to pop the tent, so I've got to be careful of those trees, right? It looks level to me, and I also have an annex, or an awning, on that side, which, getting away from this branch here, I've got plenty of room. So, I would think, and you'll notice also, because the tent is on a slight slope from the back end to the front, that's where my head is. So, I think I now have the ideal spot. Well, I'd say that's another successful day at the coal fields. I'm here. It's 20 to 4, taken about half an hour or thereabouts to set up. I would take you on a guided tour, but I'm too busy at the moment. But later, we'll do it. But it's good to be back, and there's nobody here. And I collected some firewood on the road on the way in, so I can have a little campfire tonight. I need to find, there's some bark of trees here similar to the ribbon barks, and they ignite like they're infused with kerosene, so I'll gather a bit of that after I've had a little tipple, and then I'll sit back for another half an hour and think about what I'm going to have for dinner. So, cheers. Well, stop me complaining about the flies all the time. Let's have a little wander. We'll go down and have a look at the lagoon, see how much water is in it. Any of you who have watched a previous video when I brought the camper trailer over here for a test, we did this little walk. But hey, every season is different, every year is different. We all get older, and so I'm a creature of habit. I like to revisit places I've been, probably more often than I should, but that's what life's about. If you don't get out there and live it, what's the point? So I'll shut up waffling, and then I'll walk through here and we'll go to the lagoon. I figure if I do this now, I won't have to do it tomorrow. And I can just sit in my bum all day and read a book, do crosswords, play guitar and sleep, which is what my main plan is. Oh, okay. I see something and there ain't a lot of water. Ooh, maybe there is. Hang on. Well, to say I'm shocked doesn't actually convey what I feel right now, because this is a demonstration of what is actually happening. My video last time, when I actually lost my lens cap, people might recall, this had water in it over there. Probably doesn't come out very well now because the sun is setting, but there were hundreds and hundreds of water birds out there, and there's not even a drop of water. And these clowns say there's no such thing as global warming. Get real. This is sad. Only no more than 2 years ago, and all out there was water with thriving bird population And all I can see now is damned insects. Have a look at the ground. It's all parched. I'm walking on it. Dry as a stick. Look at that. That hasn't had water in some considerable time. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked that our watercourses dry up so quickly. And I mean, I know this is Australia. I know. But we haven't had rain in this area, even down in Albany. And what am I? I'm actually north of the Great Eastern Highway, north of Coolgardie, but to the west. And I understood that this winter there were some fairly significant storms that came through, but now I doubt it. Because one of the reasons that I didn't come so earlier was the fact that I thought, oh, it's all flooded out there in the outback. Rowles was flooded. Well, Rowles is a long, long way from here, but I watched the rains coming down on the radar, and I thought, oh yeah, everything will be green, and there are places that are green, that's for sure. But this is incredible. And yes, I know it's a shallow lake. It was never a lake. Oh, well, I suppose it was in the good times. I'm going to be interested to go back to my videos when I get home and do a comparison, because this pole thing here, it was here last year, or the last time I was here, which would be no more than 2 years ago. And I'm going to gauge how close to the water this pole was compared to what I'm actually seeing now. Oh, this is sad. This is really sad to see what was a wetland drying up like this. And here we are in May. I can't remember the date. It's about the 17th or something. God. Desolate planet. Well, I guess I shouldn't laugh, but for me it's probably beneficial, because I really don't see that there's going to be many weekend campers come out here with their boats, or they're not allowed to have power boats, but I think it was a fairly favourite spot for Kalgoorlie locals and Coolgardie locals. I mean, it is only 74 k's from Coolgardie, and probably much the same. I mean, I came via Orabanda, Kalgoorlie, Orabanda the last time. So, you know, I suppose if they want to get away, but you're not going to have that, you know, bird watching excitement that I did last time, because there were ducks and all sorts of birds out there. Now there's none. Sad, sad, sad. Yes, you might remember I came and I did the videos of this thing, and there's the sign, Site 23, Rowles Lagoon. And then we have a little gazebo over here, and then down that road is an area I don't think you're not allowed to camp down there. So. But bird watching, eh? There are birds out there. I can hear one. Never work with animals. Anyway, what I was going to say was, things will change. Long after humans have raped this planet and taken everything they can and overpopulated it, stripped it of its resources, and then the human race will die out, the Earth will still be here. And the birds and the animals and the insects, they'll get it back. Think about that, humans, while we're all gallivanting around with our technology and doing that. And I'm to blame, hey. But it's very sad to see things like this. You know, all the effort that goes in. And poor nature, the birds and the animals, they're victims in all this, not I know people are going to say, it's happened for millennia, and I'm one of the ones that did, and it will, because I know, I'm realistic. It's not the only time this has happened. But humans have a big bearing, and we have the capability of, in effect, changing things for the better, but we don't seem to be able to change things for the better. All we seem to be able to do is create weapons of war and war with each other. Well, there's no hope for us if that's our way of looking at things. So, you know, at least I've seen it, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm coming to the end of my span on this planet anyway. So, you know, it's just sad for me when I come back to places like this, and you have cherished memories. But it was also one of the things that I always said as a young fellow was I don't ever go back because it's never the same, and it never is. And so, as I keep repeating myself and going back to the same old places, I think, maybe I should give it all up. You know, just accept it and just ignore everything that's going on. But I find that very hard to do. I'm a protester, and I always will be. People don't understand that. But I don't think enough people actually get out off their asses and do things like get out there and complain to these dicks that run the countries and say it's not good enough. We need to change. Humanity needs to change. But whilst we're all greedy pigs, nothing will change. But once again, this is perfect. Except for the flies. Now, I bought one of these in Coolgardie. Cost about $8 or something. And I think we should hold the manufacturers to account because they didn't tell the flies that they're not supposed to like this. And in actual fact, I sprayed some on, put some on my forehead. Next thing I heard was a bzzz like a mozzie. So they love this shit. So what are we doing, DEET? Bushmen? 20% DEET. I think they've become immune to it. But I'll persevere with it. The flies don't seem to be as bad as a little bit further south because we are a little bit further north now. But they might be a different species of fly because I brought two with me, and I think they escaped when I opened the door after we got here because they probably said, "Yay! New blood, let's go boys," and off they're going looking for the female flies. Nature. I think I worked it out. I read the label, and the label says it repels mosquitoes, sandflies, flies, ticks and leeches. And it's Australian, Aussie made and Australian owned. The problem is, it was actually made in Queensland, in tropical Queensland. And their flies, they're different to ours. They don't have the same flies as we have, because we're here in WA. We got WA flies. They don't go over to Queensland for their holidays. So how are they going to know that they're not supposed to like this stuff? They get a smell of it, and they think, oh shit, that smells good. And it does. It's got a great smell. I could use it as an aftershave. Shit, I might. But maybe there's a WA company out there that could make a WA specific insect repellent, not just for Queensland ones or Victorian ones or territory ones. One for WA insects. That's what we need. So come on, entrepreneurs in WA, get your thinking caps on, find us an equivalent or even a better one than this, not an equivalent because this doesn't work. Then we can all go out into the great outback without those stupid nets. Which reminds me, I've got to go and find mine. Now, it's in the car. I know where I put it, in the seat pocket. I think I'll just sit here and contemplate by the fire. This is what it's all about, really, living. Flies are still around though. Bloody things. Bloody flies. So as the sun goes down, hopefully the flies will bloody well go away. But you can't have everything, hey. You can't have it all, much as we'd like to. Anyway, where would I rather be? That's a good question. Haven't got an answer yet. I hope that sun going down is being recorded on that camera there. And I think, how lucky am I? I am really lucky, okay? I know that. To be able to do this, to still have the health and the get up and go, to still get off my ass and go and do this. It's brilliant, it really is. Better not use up all my SD card. I've still got a journey to do. Let's get out of this maudlin mood. Well, I'm going to make bacon in there. I've got bacon here that I need to use up because I've had it for a little while. So we'll crank up the cookers. This one might be running out of gas, but don't worry, we have plenty gas. Yeah. These canisters get jumbled around during the transit. Plenty gas. Plenty gas. Now, a little bit of oil. My fridge turns on and the lights flicker. Okay, I know it's a non-stick pan, but it's an old non-stick pan. smoky pokey here. Don't need that on just quite yet. Maple flavoured bacon apparently from Aldi. I'm going to do it all. It does smell like maple too, like maple syrup. I'll put that one in there. And I might have a bacon and egg sandwich. For dinner. Put that in the rubbish. Yeah, we can probably put a fire under this one again. Yep. Oh, that maple flavoured bacon does have a strong maple smell. I think I'm going to like this. Ooh. Could be addictive. I turned my eggs down, well I actually turned it off because this burner was going absolute crackpot. So I'll let them go, butter a little bit of bread. This is the last of my bread that I brought from home, which isn't too bad. That was Monday. It's now Thursday. Normally I find it very hard to keep bread, and if I were to run out, around here I have more. Believe it or not, in Coolgardie today, this loaf of bread cost $6.30. Now, think about that. $6.30 for a loaf of bread. Is that because Coolgardie is a large population of Aboriginals? I don't know. But I'll bet my boots you won't be paying $6.30 in Woolworths for a loaf of bread. They'd have your guts for garden. The customers would have your guts for garden, I would think. Anyway, I'm pontificating again, instead of concentrating on separating my eggs. And we'll turn them, oh yeah, that'll be fine. We can turn the burner off now, that one. They'll cook in their own juices. And I will serve these up with liberal lashings of HP, not HP sauce, but barbecue sauce. My favourite, fountain. Not advertising, of course. And then I'll sit down and later on I'll make a I'll have a cup of coffee, I think. Haven't had much coffee today. Probably having withdrawal symptoms from my coffee. Gee, that bacon smells good. Anyway, I'll enjoy, folks, and I'll probably catch up with you tomorrow. Well, good morning. It's 6:45. Beautiful morning. Sun's coming up over there. And I've got an aeroplane flying. Must be the early morning flight somewhere to Perth. It's heading east. That's east. So, anyway, I'm sitting here by the fire. As you can see, it's quite chilly. And I'm just going to sit here all day and do crosswords and read a book, play guitar. And maybe tomorrow I'll move on towards Lake Ballard. That's the plan. So very peaceful here. Nobody has turned up, which I didn't expect now, having seen the lake yesterday, or the lagoon. So looks like I got the joint to myself once again. How lucky can you be? You can just make out the sun rising. Do a little panorama of where I am. Where I am is being eaten by flies, but I have my net on. Down there in the distance is the beast and the camp. And in the background over behind, in that direction, is lake, or the Rowles Lagoon. And then I've just come up a hill to actually have a look. And this is what I found. Don't know where that track goes. But we're almost like we're on a station. I think we are on like a station. I heard cattle in the background earlier today. Anyway. As you can see, I have my fly net on. The flies are just as bad. I thought they weren't quite as bad as the other place at the breakaways, but they are. Anyway, can't do much about them. Well, there's something to be said about walking up a hill, because surprisingly, when I got to the top of that particular hill, my phone started going. Down in the valley here, where I'm heading, and we'll turn around this way because we're heading back this way, I have a message on my phone says no service, and I walked up this hill. You won't know that it's a hill, but believe me, it is. And when I got to the top, my phone started going crazy, and I got all the messages and stuff, and I could make phone calls. And so I phoned Kay, and I had another little phone call from somebody else that I had to a scheduled call, which I knew I wasn't going to be able to take this time, but I ended up I did. So, a lot to be said for Telstra here in the outback. If nothing else, that they probably do have the best coverage, and you do get the best. You can pick up phone calls if you get up the top of a hill. And now I'm going to walk back to the beast. We was over there, I think, yeah. And I think it's time for another cup of coffee. As you can see, and it's starting to get very warm, but the flies, flies are still shocking. Anyway, cup of coffee time. I've come for a walk up the road, and it's as I said yesterday, this is quite sad, because this was obviously a very popular spot. If you look here, you can see, you know, car parks that have been put in for day use, because this was obviously a very popular place for say Coolgardie locals and Coolgardie locals, because it's only 70 k's from each of those respective places. And because there's no water and there's no people. There were apparently paths down to the water. I don't know whether I can make it down through. I've got to watch where I'm standing. Through these thickets of trees, probably not. I'll go a different way anyway. We'll come back out. But anyway, somebody is still maintaining the road because these tracks here are obviously from a grader, and whoever it is has been grading the road, and yep, if you look around that way you can see it's basically freshly graded. I don't know how long it is since they did it, but it obviously hasn't carried any traffic. And this is I'm now walking back towards the campground. There's another, pull-off bay, parking bay for people with big caravans who elect not to stay, for instance. And down the track, we'll go a little bit further down and then we'll have a look out onto what was once a lagoon. Let's see, had all the facilities. There's a little picnic table through here. Let's see if we can go through here. We'll have a little wander down through this track. See if we can get down to what used to be water. I can see the lake or the lagoon bed through there. This is another track, obviously. So hey, we'll just move along a little bit further along this track, and then we'll pan back out onto the. Well, I've come back out of that little track there, and we're now back onto what used to be the lagoon. And I do recall when I was here with the camper trailer a year or two ago, whatever it was, I lost my lens cap, and I do distinctly remember that where these tufts of grass is growing, that was actually the red sand, and obviously the grasses are taking over. But I don't know what that thing is in the distance over there. It's like a drum of some sort. This may be a bit jerky because I've got my telephoto lens on the Canon. It looks like a pontoon, an old pontoon. And when I was here last, I took video of birds. There were hundreds of birds just there in front of frame where all that greenery is now. Unbelievable. Who knows? Maybe the rains will return at some stage and fill it up again. I'm sure it will. Well, here it is. It's obviously an old boiler of some sort. There's something else that's been buried in the lake bed. I don't know. Some sort of a steam boiler. What the significance of the rocks is. Maybe they used it to anchor it down. Anyway, I came a walk along this track because somebody had driven here before, and there are footsteps here leading back that way, but I'm going back on here. And is that a little bit of water there? No. I saw something shimmering and I thought that looked like a little bit of water. But well, this is what a dry lake bed looks like. And it sort of reminds me, I have a subscriber called Francisco San Diego. Hi Francisco, if you're watching, which you no doubt are, because you're always the first to respond when I put a video up. And Francisco lives in Imperial County, California. And that's not too far from the Salton Sea. And the Salton Sea apparently was going to be the new Las Vegas in the 50s. And correct me if I'm wrong, Francisco, but the Salton Sea dried up. But not before they had sort of begun to put condominiums and, you know, motels and things there. It was going to be the real hotspot, but unfortunately the elements overtook them, and I believe that it's now a fairly desolate area. Anyway, nice to talk to you, Francisco. Hope things are going well. I excuse the fly net, Francisco. Look, it really is me underneath this. Okay, how you going? The flies are shocking. I guess these are promising signs that the rains will return at some stage. And when they do, this is what they do to the landscape. So that's like a drain running all the way down behind me to the lake. Well, to then lake. If I were to be a judge of campsites, this one here would probably be the best. 2 reasons. It's shaded, it has access from the road and you can come straight in if you're pretty good at reversing your camper trailer or even a caravan, God forbid. And there is the toilet over there, and actually there's an access there. You could just drive in and drive straight through here. Look at this. Right. I'm not advertising this place, by the way, but hey, somebody's gone to a lot of trouble to try and maintain it, and there is nothing to do. But if you really want to get away from it, away from screaming suburbia and all your internet social media, this is a place. I'm actually thinking, why didn't I see this in the first place? Because, like being a creature of habit, when I came here the first time, I was down in that direction. I just drove straight in, and I was looking for a nice flat spot for a camper trailer, which I then found. And when I came in yesterday, I wanted to be reasonably close to the toilet, and I didn't know how many people would be arriving here. I actually thought that there might be some people turn up, and that's the main road in, and that's where that camp area is there, you'll notice. So also you wouldn't really want to be on the main road, because the people coming past would create clouds of that red dust. However, as there doesn't seem to be very many people around at any time, in my experience, why would you bother not camping there? I don't know. If I ever come back, maybe that's the place I'll come back to.